With one swing of a 9-iron, Tiger Woods got the golf world buzzing this morning. We'll have the latest with his rehab and when we could possibly see him again on the PGA Tour.
While Tiger's testing the water, some of the world's best will be testing the bear trap this week. You'll hear from Rory, Ricky, Phil, and Adam Scott ahead of the Honda Classic.
Plus, coming up, we know this guy's pretty tough, yeah, the bear trap, but we're going to talk about 3 other holes that'll take a bite out of the players' scorecards. Coming up on Golf Central.
Golf Central, brought to you by Titleist.
And to be fair, it's not anywhere close to full throttle, but Tiger Woods put the golf world on notice that he is hitting full shots again. Woods posting this video on Twitter Wednesday morning. It's of him hitting a 9-iron in a simulator with a simple 2-word caption, progressing nicely. A couple players talked about what they saw.
It's awesome to see that he's able to, make some swings right now. It would not hurt the game to have him back playing, as soon as possible. I think the biggest thing right now is to make sure that he's healthy, and that's the main issue. So I look forward to maybe getting him out. I'll see if I can beat him if he's using 9-iron and down. We'll go from there. We'll try and build him up a little bit.
He knows this. I've talked to him in great lengths about it. I hope he comes back and comes back strong. I mean, if it takes months, takes a year, we just want him back because, he's the best player I've ever played with, and we want him back healthy is the key. So get back here quickly, but stay healthy.
That's a really, really small sample size, but I'm sure you could poll a large majority of the players, and a large majority of them, they're ready to get TW back out on the course. Lisa Cornwell, George Savarikas, Tiger Woods leading the way for us tonight on Golf Central.
Yeah, not surprisingly, and you could tell on Twitter, a very welcome sight for golf fans, especially considering where Tiger was the last time we saw him at the Hero World Challenge back in December. For more on Tiger Woods' video, let's go to Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, where we find Steve Burkowski and Tim Rosaport.
George, it has been a very interesting 48 hours or so regarding Tiger Woods. And Tim, with the video out on Wednesday morning, what's your take on what we saw Tiger post?
Well, Burko, in part it's consistent with what we reported on Golf Central on Monday and Tuesday, and that was from Davis Love that he'd been progressing, and from Nota Begay that he was getting better. But quite honestly, I didn't expect that he was getting this better. Now, in checking in with Mark Steinberg, Tiger's longtime manager, Steiny said that Tiger had actually been chipping and putting already, and that club, he's worked his way up to a 9-iron. It's not like he's going to be going out to medalist anytime soon and hitting driver, but obviously he has reached that threshold in his recovery. And talking to Davis tonight, just prior to this hit, asking him for some reaction to it, he said he wanted to steal a line from David Feherty, which is the only time he's been wrong about Tiger was when he underestimated him.
Well, an early Ryder Cup team dinner coming up later this week, but a dinner also on Tuesday night with Tiger at his place, and a very relaxed, jovial Tiger Woods.
A friend of mine was having dinner last night about 7 o'clock. Tiger comes in, big smile on his face, walking tall, obviously not favoring his back whatsoever. And it was described to me as very lean, svelte, and it reminds me of something that Nota told me about 6 months ago, which is they're trying to ultimately get him back to swinging like he did back in that turn of the century, back in 99, 2000, 2001. And this could be part of it. Obviously, he hasn't been able to lift a lot of heavy weights during this rehabilitation, but that coupled with maybe this long-term plan could speak to the future of what we're going to see out of Tiger, at least as it relates to his body type and also his swing.
Well, it was certainly noteworthy when it got posted to Twitter earlier in the day, and they are talking about it here at the Honda Classic, Lisa.
Yeah, Burka, noteworthy to say the least. Like in 10 seconds, it had 2 million likes already. I never get anything like that. 4-time PGA Tour winner Billy Kratzert. Okay, I know it was an easy 9-iron, but your impressions of what you saw from Tiger?
Well, I thought it all looked good, Lisa. When you look at the way that he was swinging the club, even though it was in the simulator, I thought everything was pretty much intact. He looked pretty much pain-free, which is the thing that we're all looking for. We're looking for Tiger to play pain-free, and he hasn't been able to do that for quite a few years now, and that looks pretty good. And he seems pleased with where he is with his golf swing. I mean, look at the posture. The posture's good. He's not hunched over like his back is hurting. The club is moving up the plane, down the plane. I like what I see, and so the excitement that you hear from a Ricky Fowler, the Zach Johnson, what Tiger said about where he is, progressing nicely, Davis Love. You listen to all that, and you can just feel the excitement that's coming back when Tiger starts this rehab process. And I think it's great that we're going to see him. And like Zach said, maybe we're not going to see him for quite some time, maybe at the end of the year or whatever, but nonetheless, we did see him swing a golf club, and that is great news.
Yeah, and on the flip side, I mean, I know you just mentioned the end of the year, the fact that he is hitting, I say a full shot, that obviously was not a full shot, but it was pretty close to it. You have to think that there is the possibility that we could see him sooner rather than later. Yeah,
I would love to see him sooner than later, Lisa, but I agree with Zach, I agree with Davis, I agree with Ricky. When we see Tiger come back, we want to make sure that he's healthy. I mean, he does so much for the game, and I would love to see him go up against a Jordan Spieth, a Rory McIlroy, a Jason Day, and a Ricky Fowler, but I want to see a healthy Tiger go up against those four.
Only time will tell. I will say this, you professional athletes are stubborn. You want to get back up there for good reason.
Who, us?
No, not you. Let's take a look back at the timeline of Tiger's recent injury, and without question, the most significant of his career. Hard to believe it's been almost 2 years, March 31, 2014, when he underwent microdiscectomy surgery. September 16th of the following year, he underwent a second microdiscectomy surgery. Then a few weeks later, he had a follow-up procedure to relieve some pain.
Four-time major champion Rory McIlroy couldn't resist the urge to needle Tiger just a little. He chimed in via Twitter, "While you're on your feet, do a few calf raises, would you?" Rory, a winner of the Honda Classic back in 2012, narrowly edging out Tiger Woods at the time. He's joined by defending champ of this event, Padraig Harrington, and Zach Johnson, coupling the last two winners of the Open together as well. They're off at 12:45 Eastern Time, starting on the first tee. Let's go out once again to Steve Burkowski as he focuses on this group of major champions. Burko.
Well, George, the last time we saw Rory McIlroy was just 3 days ago at Riviera, where he was making his first PGA Tour start of 2016. And he got off to a nice start early on Sunday that actually gave him a share of the lead for just the slightest of times, because the rest of the final round was a struggle for McIlroy. He ended up shooting 75 and finishing in a tie for 20th.
I reflected a good bit on, about the round on Sunday night and on Monday. And it was one of those things where I went from obviously, 2 under early in the round to over par after 7. So I felt from 7 I was chasing it, and on that golf course I made a decent par on 8, I had a good look on 9, and then I'm thinking, going on to the 10th tee, if I can make 2 birdies in these next 2 holes, get it back to 11 under for the tournament, I'm still right in there. And walking to the 12th tee, instead of being 11 under, I'm 8 under. And then all I'm doing then is just try and go for pins and I started to short side myself, and the score probably got away from me because of that. So I didn't dwell on it too much, because I knew that it was more the circumstances I found myself in the middle of the round is why I sort of let it get away from me. So yeah, I didn't think about it too much. I know that my game's in good shape. I know that it's there to get into contention again this week. I guess for me at the minute, progress is the first one, is result based, because I feel like I'm playing well. I feel like my game's in good shape. So it's going out there and doing it when it matters. So I feel this year I've made some good strides forward, and it was looking good for most of the week last week and had a bad finish, but I feel like my game's there, and that's a great thing about golf. You've got this stretch of golf we've got coming up. There's always the next week to if you do stumble, there's the next week to pick yourself back up and to have an opportunity to play well again.
Part of Wednesday's Pro-Am pairing with McIlroy was avid golfer and musician Kenny G. Roy said the two had a lot of fun, but focusing on the tournament ahead, he said very confident about his game, and you have to like his track record here at PGA National. 4 years ago, Rory was the winner here of the Honda Classic, and that event ascended him to the #1 ranking in the world in terms of the golfing world, that is. And then Lisa, just a couple of years ago, he had a chance to win again before ultimately falling in a 4-man playoff.
Thank you, Burko. He has had many chances to win, hasn't he? I thought that it was interesting, though, reading about that 75. He said that he was confident, not worried about it, would follow up nicely, but it tied his highest final round in a PGA Tour event in his career. So with that being said, do you have any concern for him moving forward immediately?
Simple explanation. Rory McIlroy is all about winning. Whether he finishes top 5, top 3, top 10, whatever, he's not worried about that kind of finish. What he wants wins. He's won 4 majors, a couple PGAs, a U.S. Open, and an Open Championship. And you look at his record here at the Honda, and okay, it's kind of a hit or miss, a WD and a missed cut, but a win and a tie for second, the loss in the playoff. Rory McIlroy is all about winning. You look at a Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, all these guys, they're about winning, Lisa, and that's what I gathered from what Rory was talking about. He feels as though his game's in pretty good shape. The ball striking, the driving, that's going to be good. And he's willing to accept that he can overcome missed putts from time to time with his ball striking. And I think that is a big step up the ladder for Rory McIlroy because, hey, I don't have to putt as well as a lot of guys do. I can do it with my ball striking. And we all know that on a soft golf course, Rory McIlroy is a very dangerous player. You look at the fact that he won at Valhalla and the way that he won at Congressional. You give him a soft golf course where those fairways widen up exponentially and he puts the ball in the fairway, then he can get it pretty much every hole location. And if he just makes a few putts, Lisa, he's going to be right there. And I'm going to do my calf lifts right now.
Yeah, you do that. I'm not going to in these heels. I think everyone would agree, including Savaricas, that feast or famine for McIlroy doesn't matter because he's feasting all the time.
I want to see those calf races, Lisa. And another guy who's feast or famine, another big-name group. It features the runner-up 2 weeks ago at Pebble and Phil Mickelson. And last week's runner-up, Adam Scott, third guy teeing off at 7:45 a.m. Eastern on number 10. Kevin Kisner, only player in this group with a win this season. Let's once again welcome in Steve Burkowski. After a week off, what's Phil's mindset going into the Florida swing?
Well, George, it's the same mindset he's had since Pebble Beach and all of 2016 for that matter. It's one filled with optimism and confidence that he is playing great golf and he's having a lot of fun out on the golf course. And despite falling just short at Pebble Beach, Phil Mickelson is looking at the big picture.
Whether I won or lost the tournament, I was still using it as a stepping stone for the rest of the year for where my game has gone. It's gone through a difficult time for a couple of years, and the fact that I'm playing well again, I'm in contention, and I'm hitting shots with ease. I'm showing up at the golf course not trying to find something, but just continue refining what I'm already doing. It's a different feeling when I show up, and so win, lose, or what have you, it's not really affecting the confidence that I have or the direction I feel like my game is going. I think it is the biggest challenge is staying patient when I know that I'm playing to the level that is high enough to win. The challenge is to not think about the results and to just play, which I've actually done fairly well the first month, but that's going to be the challenge. But again, it's kind of like the way it was when I was trying to get my first major. I know that it's just a matter of time. It's going to happen any week because I'm just playing too well for it not to.
Phil Mickelson continues to be steadfast in the belief that he is on the right track and it is a path he is going to continue to follow as 2016 moves on the PGA Tour schedule. And when I talked to him at Pebble Beach on Sunday, Lisa, after that narrow loss, he said it made him more determined to finish things off the next time he put himself in position. And after hearing him on Wednesday, that mantra still rings true.
Yeah, Burko, and you have to wonder, because what is the difference between determination and confidence? We heard Rory McIlroy just a minute ago talk about how confident he is to getting back to the winner's circle. Is Phil confident yet? Has he experienced enough without winning since 2013?
Well, winning breeds winning, and when you haven't won in 3 years, well, to be 3 years in July, then yeah, it's a little bit of a concern. But you know, as Burko said, here's a Phil Mickelson that's very excited about the way that he's striking the golf ball. And you look at the way that he's driving the ball, 60% of the fairways, that's actually probably 1.5 drives more in the fairway. You give him more opportunity from the fairway, he's going to make more birdies. All these swings look under control. And what I like about Phil is the fact that, you know, he understands that it's a process up to this point. I think when he made the statements last year, there was some emptiness to the statements. He really didn't believe that he was close. Now I think he believes as though he's close, and that if he can just put it all together, because he got off to a slow start at Pebble Beach. Had he gotten off to a quick start, he might have won the golf tournament, but he sees it as a progression. He's getting better and better, and I really look forward to him going through the bigger part of the season, especially after Augusta, when we get into June and July, when we have those 3 majors, just to see what Phil does, because he may get that 6th major this year.
No one would be surprised, I don't think. You can always tell the mindset of Phil Mickelson, though, because he doesn't try to hide it. And George, he seems to be having a lot of fun right now, which means he's playing really well.
Let's go to a couple guys still searching for that elusive first major in Ricky Fowler and Sergio Garcia. And one of the elder statesmen in the field, Davis Love III. They're off at 12:35 Eastern Time, starting on number 1. Fowler has had about as good a start as anyone to 2016, Steve.
Oh, without question, you take a look at how Ricky Fowler has kicked off the year, George, and it's been very, very impressive. And it's been a couple weeks off on the PGA Tour since that playoff loss at Phoenix. But Ricky says he's back, he's ready, he's relaxed and refreshed for what is one of his more enjoyable weeks on the PGA Tour.
I love it that it's a ball striker's golf course. You gotta drive the ball well to give yourself an opportunity to get a ball close on the greens. Yeah, putting can save you, but you gotta be solid tee to green here. And I feel like it brings out some of the guys that are hitting the ball the best that week. I don't like all the water. I gotta try and stay away from that. No, it's a good test of golf here. Like I said, you gotta be on point tee to green. You can't fake it around here, and it's a good test, especially when we get the kind of standard 10 to 20 mile an hour winds.
Part of Ricky Fowler's preparation for this week was playing 36 holes on Tuesday alongside Michael Jordan. And Lisa, Ricky went on to say, what better way to prep for the Honda Classic than teeing it up against one of the fiercest competitors in all of sports.
Yeah, because if you can talk trash with Jordan and take money from him, you're golden. But seriously, Ricky Fowler, I mean, you're better to answer this than me, but looking at how he's playing right now, the confidence that he has, is there anybody in the world playing better golf right now than Ricky Fowler?
Well, you look at his stats, and he misses the cut at Farmers, but he wins in Abu Dhabi, and then he loses in the playoff to Matsuyama. But what I took from his presser there is when he said it's a ball striker's golf course, that tells me that he is very confident in what he is doing on the golf course. And when you look at his all-around stats, here's a guy that's number 2 on the PGA Tour all around. So driving, iron play, bunker play, pitching around the green, getting the ball up and down, scrambling, and you can hear it in his voice. We heard it in Phil's voice, how confident he was. Well, Ricky's equally as confident, and what makes Ricky dangerous, I think, Lisa, is the fact that he's finally gotten some rest. He's taken 2 weeks off. He's ready to start this Florida swing, so Ricky Fowler's ready to get a win.
Good news for you. You have plenty of time now to do those calf raises because George is taking us to break.
We're just getting going here on Golf Central after coming up just short at Riviera. What's Adam Scott expecting from his game going forward? And Trip Eisenhower searches for a new nickname to rival the Bear Trap at PGA National. How about the Bear Apparent? Stick around to find out the scoop on what may be the 3 hardest holes at Honda.
Golf Central is brought to you by the Titleist 915 drivers, distance without compromise.